Hi, Mrs. Caruso here. We're doing the quadratic mid-unit practice. We are doing the back sheet and we are doing the X-Factor puzzles. So our X-Factor puzzles is they are going to, in this first section, give you the two numbers that are right and left, and we're going to call it A and B. And we have to figure out how they add, what they add to give you, and what they multiply to give you. So on this first one, the first two numbers were -2 and 7. So we do -2 plus 7, and that gives us 5. We do -2 times 7. If you want to put parentheses in it like that, you can do that. And that gives us -14. So let's do another one of those. So -8 and -9, we're going to do -8 plus -9. That just means that you have -8 and -9. The signs are the same. You add them and keep the sign. So that gives you -17. Okay, then we multiply them. We do -8 times -9. And that gives us a negative times a negative is a positive, and 8 times 9 is 72. Okay, so this part is just my work down here, and this part up here is just my work. So 6 and 11, add them, you get 17. 6 times 11, multiply them, and you get 66. Okay. Try the next two. Then we're going to come down here, so you might want to pause the video. So now we're going to come down here. This time they're going to give you this way, the 7 and the 10. So you have to figure out the two numbers that multiply to give you 10. So what two numbers multiply to give you 10? And those same two numbers add to give you 7. Okay, so over here, we got 5 and 2. 5 times 2 is 10, and 5 plus 2 is 7. Here, we want to figure out what two numbers multiply to give you 7. Those same two numbers have to add to give you -8. Well, since it's a -8, my numbers that multiply to give us 7 are 1 and 7, or it could be -1 and a -7. So 1 plus 7 gives me an 8, but a -1 plus a -7 gives me a -8. So it has to be a -1 and a -7. Look at number 26. Two numbers to multiply to give you 16. Like 4 and 4 work. However, 4 and 4, there's no way to get 6 out of that. Okay, so 4 and 4, I can't get 6 anyway without doing the numbers. So I need another two numbers. 1 and 16. 1 and 16, again, one of them would have to be negative, but I can't get 6 out of that. So 16 minus 1 is 15, and -16 plus 1 is a -15, and that doesn't give you 6. So my next two numbers I'm going to try are 2 and 8. Well, 2 times 8 is 16, but that's not -16, okay? But what would I have to do to get 6? I would have to do 8 minus 2. Well, 8 minus 2 would give me 6, and -2 times a +8 would give me -16. Okay. Two numbers to multiply to give you 3, and add to give you 4. The only numbers that multiply to give you 3 are 1 and 3. Do they happen to add to give you 4? They do. So try 28. Two numbers that multiply to give you 32, and add to give you 12. You should have gotten 4 and 8. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 plus 8 is 12. Down here, two numbers that multiply to give you 2, 1 and 2, but now it's a negative number. So what we know is that if it multiplies, they're either the same sign, so they're either both positive or they're both negative. So we know 1 times 2 is 2, but 1 plus 2 gives me +3, not -3. So I need to change both my signs. This tells me I want a -6. Okay, so that means one of them is positive and one of them is negative. 2 times 3 is 6, one of them needs to be negative. So I could do a -2 and a +3, or I could do 2 and -3. Which one's going to give me -1? -2 plus 3 gives me +1. +2 minus 3 gives me -1. So I want 2 and a -3. Two numbers multiply give you 21. Most of us come up with 3 times 7. Okay, well 3 times 7, I need a -21. So I either need -3 and +7, or I need +3 and a -7. I want to get a -4. So if I want a -4, my bigger number needs to be negative, because this is, you have $3 and you borrow 7. So you need 3 and a negative. Try the next two on your own. This should be -11 and -11. Two numbers and multiply to give you -12 and add to give you 4. 6 and 2 are your numbers, your signs then. You can only have one of them negative. The bigger number needs to be negative, so it's -6 and +2.